Still got time to buy some Juvie. The energy drink made by gamers for gamers. It's basically Discord as an energy drink. Go check it out. Anyways, we got Justice versus Middy. We expected the Rob, and you know what? He ain't giving us any less. Rob on deck, Min, Gyro already in play, and look at this. Justice, immediate burst options with the dash attacks, the rams. Beautiful pressure to start.
Yeah, I mean, we're already seeing what can happen here. I mean, this Rob starting to cook a little bit. I was a little bit, I don't know. I thought that this might just be a quick Justice pull up, 3-0, go home, walk out, but maybe not if Middy keeps playing like this.
Taking advantage of the lone advantage they've gotten and able to turn it into so much. Even getting on stage, Justice had to hold and DI properly that Rob up air. The air dodge down into tech was able to throw off Middy's timing just a little bit and finishing off the edge guard with that dragon laser.
35?
Powered up dragon arm, baby. Sheesh.
I want to talk about fair and balanced, man. Like,
not this game.
What they got in that ramen?
Hey, see, fair and balanced.
Yeah.
Justice heard you talking crap.
I just simply will hope my opponent loses the game for themselves.
Yes, I hope that my opponent just commits seppuku.
Hey, it's fair. It's fair. All right, Justice, though, getting locked down at ledge. One of the few times that Min is actually a troubled character, is in disadvantage. But look at that, Middy not being ready for that crazy mash out right there into the down air. And now Justice repositioning and reversing the scenario. Gyro in hand as well. How do you get through? You don't. And now off stage, you're going to lose that stock. Maybe Gyro. Ooh, the nair. That is absolutely nasty. And hold up. Let's go back for seconds. Nah, you don't get none of that. Only one serving at a time, Justice. Got to keep that weight down.
I've been liking how Justice wants to edge guard, though. Like, part of what makes Min so dangerous is not only can you edge guard from on stage, you can edge guard even deeper traditionally, like punching people in the blast zone from just a normal ledge hang. Like, that type of game plan can be particularly dangerous against a character that likes to linger off stage, but you were mentioning it before the end, that ledge trapping can be a really problematic spot for Min, and Middy taking full advantage by letting that arm rotor rip.
Ooh, oh, okay. little reflector action. I was like, all right, just to show that you got it. Even if it ain't nobody, just to show that you got it. Respect me, that's what that says.
Justice deserved to die for a second there. Middy just got a little too antsy about whether or not they should pull the trigger, and Justice got out of there for it. But now look at that aggressive offstage presence. And right now, why not? Middy's at 190%, nothing to lose here. Might as well put all caution to the wind and send a message. Rotor arm still living, but at this point, boom, Gyro, Rotor, you are gone and out. Middy starting off with a statement right here in game number 1 with a clean little 2 stock.
All right. Middy trying not to look so Middy, trying to look a little bit more peak, and I'm with it.
Where's the soundboard? Hold up.
There you go. What can I say? This is where I bow. This is like the Joker meme. Where I got the got the little notepad out in the crowd. I've been sitting on that one for years.
Just been waiting, patiently waiting for a track to explode on.
So I think the most interesting thing I found about that final stretch, right, was the fact that Min, as you're looking for stocks at extreme percents like that, typically you'll lean on Dragon or Megawatt Nair. Megawatt Nair is on block -7. That, if I'm recalling correctly, is, well, that absolutely is punishable, but because you now are using a obviously punishable move on block, that allows Middy to play a advantageous mix-up of whether or not you go for an instant punish with something like a jump fair, or you belay your punish with shield drop down tilt, which technically isn't true, but you're gambling whether or not Justice buffers a spot dodge or something. It's like a dangerous mix-up that requires that then is leaning on Justice to play disadvantageous in scrambles like that, which is one of the biggest nerfs that Min got was that Nair less safe on shield kind of change.
Yeah, no, they definitely tried to neuter that Nair to take out some of the aggressive potential from Min so she wasn't such a all-arounder. But you know what? There's definitely a character that's still an all-arounder, and Rob is right there waiting on the screen, got the grab, going for the up smash. And you know what? No matter if you miss it the first time, that down air, definitely a very punishable move from Min. And now, what are you going to do to get this next stock back?
That's a good question. I don't really know what you do here, to be honest. I'm like, where you get stock back?
I got some options for you. So Town and City does make it a little bit harder to kill off the top. So up smash gonna be a later kill for Min here. But you have, of course, Megawatt or Dragon. Or if you want to go for a little bit of a safer kill option, Ram Tilt will lead into Dragon Arm, and so you could get the kill like that.
Assuming you can land meaningful hits, right? Like
you have to get close enough to, or not close enough, depending on which one of those options you're picking. With like up smash, well, not the up smash we were talking about, but
yeah, definitely still gonna do it. That is the thing, Ram. If you're going to confirm off of it at this percent, ooh, up smash right there. Just wake up, it's a kill right there. But Ram, as I was saying, at that high of percent, you actually have to do it from a shorter range. Otherwise, they'll get too far away. And, you know, as you mentioned, Ubel, no jump, but it don't matter. Those platforms coming in and saving them.
Yeah, that was extraordinarily fortunate. You can time it a little bit. Once the background stops moving, you know the platforms are coming in, and each background is individual depending on what layout, so you can time it a little bit. But I mean, this has just been full aggression and full offensive pressure, forcing Justice into things like jab in the corner, just trying things to keep Middy off of them. But they're only allowed so much time in center stage, and this game is looking... It's seeming like the writing's on the wall, but I never feel like I can count out Min either, especially when Rob has running out of fuel, and that is a finishing stock right there. 119, one grab, and there's cheese to be had, and Justice is looking for it.
I will say the best part for Justice right here is Middy has not been responding well to the throws. So if Justice gets one good grab, hold up, getting so close but unable to find it. And now look at that, Middy coming down with the Nair and trying to force the issue with the forward air. The wave dash onto Plat and just emitting pressure. Gyro, Middy just unable to find a hit, and now Justice coming in and the Megawatt to do it. No, not quite. Hold up, Middy still living for a second longer, Flambo.
I'm just like, gonna run out of gas in the tank soon. He needs to get back. Sheesh. Still, there's no way. Okay, I'm about to say, there's no way you have that much fuel. Yeah, that's it. All right, Justice was clutch. Justice was clutch. That was a well-executed edgeguard sequence to go ahead and close that one out. I was gonna say, if I was Middy in that scenario, I'm camping shield, honestly, because Justice keeps spamming. Like the entire reason that last sequence happened is because he got hit by dash attack and got sent off stage. But the amount of times that he's punished, or the amount of times that Justice has been punished for dash attacking on shield and getting up smashed has been at least 3 different times across this set and the previous set. So at that point, I'm like, all right, if I just hold shield, I'll be dash attacked into and I can just up smash out of shield and get the stock. But Justice did 2 dash attacks back to back. The first one missed, the second one hit, and then the edgeguard sequence ensued.
The one thing that I think was going through Middy's mind about shielding is Middy has shown that they don't understand how to respond to Min's grab game. You have to be very careful with shielding against Min, because if you get grabbed, it's fine if you know specifically how to counterplay it. And so, for example, if you're at 0, there's, of course, the back throw laser cheese. That if you've played against Min, you should know that. And the thing is, I haven't seen the proper response from that, because it's the same thing if you get forward thrown or you get back thrown off stage at any percent. What you should do is you should double jump to get out of there, or you should fast fall. You have to choose one or the other, because if you just stay where those throws put you, you're in this perfect horizontal line for either a dragon smash laser, a ram, just any of the arms. They cover right in that position, and Middy has just sat there every time a thrown has happened. And so it's starting to get a little bit scary for Middy to shield.
That's where you got to lean on things like gyro and things like your really solid grounded tools from Middy. Oh, the down air there as a combo breaker. We're heading back to PS2 here, and it just seems like Justice has a little bit of a renewed vitality. Very strong opening, understanding just what makes Middy's Rob tick, but you're going a little bit too ham. Lost in the sauce, and you are now putting yourself in an even game. What it should have been a dominating start.
That was pretty silly. I'm not gonna lie. That was a little silly, but you know what? That's what playing with confidence nets you, right? Like the ability to get all this damage, go off stage. Sure, you may lose your stock by getting a little overzealous, but it gives you the confidence to come back and keep swinging and get the stock back immediately, so that you never even get to feel the. Oh my gosh.
This is what I was talking about.
Tell me about it. Yep.
You can't stay in the horizontal. You gotta get out of there.
Oh my.
You deserve to lose your stock at 20 if you do that. I'm just saying. You can't have it happen 2 sets in a row and then blame Min at that point.
It's tough, right? Like, especially because Middy has wanted to keep access to those mix-ups. Like, that's why you stay in that floaty horizontal, like, general slice that you do as Rob, or as many other characters, because you have access to your double jump and ways to harass characters at ledge. Joker does the same thing, but Min forces you to redefine how you play the game, as many good characters do, but Min does it in a way that, quite honestly, or not even honestly, is completely unique to her.
It's dishonest.
And it's not honest, that's for sure.
Woo, broken characters. Let's go DLC 2.
It's just, I don't even know what I call it. It's just a certain level of like pungent grime that comes with DLC Pass 2.
Yeah. Right, you know,
dank.
Hey, keep it away from
Sephiroth,
me,
bro. Like, I can't even say that because Sephiroth has his own level of shenanigans, but
if he lives past anybody else's shenanigans, basically, right?
Yeah, and even then, like, his range is really effective. Like the best secondary mechanic in the game. Wing is incredible and offers so much. But the rest of Fighters Pass 2, man, like, Sora gets all of this stuff because he has aerial rekkas and like infinite combos out of rising aerials. Min gets to redefine what zoning is for a character and like how you operate on stage so well as edge guarding while on stage better than anybody else. And Steve and Kazuya exist. Like, we don't need to talk more about them. Twitter already does that for us. Quite the DLC pack, and Justice is operating with this Min as one of the best in North America doing it, and it's looking like they are coasting to a solid first place finish here, but the writing's not on the wall yet. We've seen Middy do very well when they're allowed to press the gas. It's just a matter of when they get the opportunity to do so. This might be it.
Oh,
yeah, this should be. Oh, one rotor arm right there would have done the trick. We've seen a couple of those at this point in the previous game as well as this one, where Middy gets the setup for a rotor arm and just doesn't pull the trigger.
No, you're right. It looks like it's like you've seen the setup before, right? It's like, oh yeah, okay, this, then forward air, yep, then like maybe a Z drop on the gyro if you feel like it or not, but we go into the rotor arm here just to, you know, and then it just never comes, and you're like, huh, okay, well, Sure, why not? I guess kind of a little bit of a you feel misled to a certain degree, but either way, I mean, they're keeping it competitive. Middy, I mean, granted, pretty hurt, but with a lot of rage, and if they can get under Min here, or hold on, even pushing him to the corner, they might be able to set something up.
Shout out to the gyro breaking that earlier grab. Oh, and no jump here.
Like here, you know, I thought you might see a border arm there, but no.
Yeah, that was just checkmate, especially after the up B, because Min stalls her recovery and she has no air drift. So that should have been done, but Middy not having enough confidence here. And I think Justice is really starting to mess with Middy's head.
It's looking... It's so hard. Like once you get onto a stock deficit against Min, suddenly you're forced with this idea of I've got to make a play here. Looking for that up throw, not even close yet. But that fastball forward air, quick runoff and quick pull of the trigger there from Middy, that will change the dynamic back into a much more even perspective. This is where you want to be, where you feel like you can rely on shield, where you feel like you're not constantly suffocating. Though you do have a bit of ways to go here, Flambeau. We're watching Middy start to try and change up how they approach, but it seems like Justice is just one step ahead.
Yeah, Justice, oof. It's like, let's wrap this tournament up with what Justice is playing like right now. I mean, look at the charge on that. I was holding it. And you can charge for so long in this game. It's kind of disorienting because I think it's, oh my God, beautiful up smash and retaliation as well there as we kind of get to what may be tournament point here if Justice is able to win this one out. But yeah, no, I think I'll leave it at that. It's coming down to the final moments.
Yeah, if you're Middy, you gotta start just pulling out all the stops. Whatever trick is up your sleeve, utilize it. Yep, forward air, boom. At least you have evened it up and you still got a shot. All right. Now, if you're Middy, you end this game as fast as possible. You take all the wind out of Justice's sails unless you just want to hold the L here.
Duck underneath the robo beam, like it's looking so good, but a couple of these grabs are getting super dangerous here for Justice. Looking for the ram nair, which can spell demise very quickly. The roll on getting caught. Forward air, jump being used, but the fastball gets Justice back to ledge. Great spacing from Middy.
No, the whiff, that should have been it, but just a little bit off. And now Justice with the ability to go ahead and find a stock here maybe, but hold up, down tilt grab. Now he's setting up for that edge guard, that ledge trap from Middy, looking for it. But ooh, the pivot grab from Justice and the boost off, looking and sending it out. But no, the waste of a stock right there. Justice dropping that game. Middy doing a great job of sealing it out.
Can I even say that?
Did
Middy do a good job?
I mean,
Middy.
Rob be big and he survived. He chose Rob, and Rob is a heavy character. Middy knew. Middy knew ahead of time that I'm gonna need the weight to survive.
I'm just like, I mean, objectively, that's a like, Justice, what are you doing? Right? Like that. Like that's a throw. That's a huge throw.
That's definitely a throw, but it's so hard to doubt the thought process, more just doubt the execution of it. Because, okay, you're pressuring Rob in a way that you've basically never done all set before, like going off for double jump, the tether cancel nair into re-grab ledge, then do it again. Like that's a type of pressure and a type of mix-up that's never been shown at Middy before. It just didn't result in the same amount of knockback that Justice wanted it to.
I will say the only reason why Justice died there was the fastball, but I also think that was the reason why it hit in the first place. I'm not 100% sure. Like
I forget, does Min's dare spike?
At the very beginning, so that was an option.
Because I feel like that might have been the optimal play there.
Yeah, it does it right at the beginning, so if you get the spike there, that definitely was it.
But if you miss ever so slightly, because they were facing backwards, which means the down air would send at an angle away from Rob. So if you're not right hitting at the beginning, you're immediately losing the game, and we're having the same conversation.
I mean, listen, bro, I've seen Mars do it with ZSS enough time, man.
Yeah, the difference is for ZSS though is the spike lingers throughout the whole thing, and Mimmin is
Does it
just at the
actually?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that character is still pretty good. I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's the only one as far as I'm aware that lingers with the spike the whole time. All the rest like will pop you up if they hit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was like Sheiks and like all the other like dive kick ones like that. I didn't realize it. Wow, that's dumb.
Yeah,
okay.
so ZSS, you like do a RAR or a slingshot at ledge. That way you're facing downwards. So like if Rob goes below stage right there, that's just dead. Just like that up B.
Yeah, finally a chase high. Middy looking out for the chase low that Justice may have had on their minds, but the up B high closing out the stock there, and Justice gives themselves a lead yet again, but not for long. The dropped gyro closing out stock number 1 for Justice. Game 5 as even as can be. We're already going into July 1st. It's just a matter of how deep we go here tonight.
Oh, come
just
on,
barely.
Yeah, it's been an interesting bout to experience. Granted, like I think one of the cool things to observe is just how much pressure Gyro can really put on Min in a ledge trap scenario where like a lot of characters, like nobody wants to be ledge trapped by Rob, literally nobody. But I think for Min in particular, it just feels a lot more menacing, right? Like it feels like a shark just kind of sitting there on stage ready to take a bite out of you, because it just puts her in like a pretty terrible position in comparison to some other characters who get hit by it.
Yeah, Min, they made sure that when they made that broken neutral and advantage, they gave her something. Look at that. That gyro.
2 gyro kills.
Lineup. Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do. This matchup is like even or depending on who you ask, like winning for Rob because of Gyro. Like Gyro does all the heavy lifting.
It does a lot of heavy lifting in a lot of matchups, but in the case of this one, being able to clash with arms and being able to be just this perfect edge guarding, ledge trapping tool while Rob gets to react to what you do, like forces Min to burn a ton of resources or hold that, and neither are really good options.
Yeah, and oh my gosh.
Justice holding that right now. Hold on. Yeet. It's like we might be heading to a reset if Justice can't figure out how to get back on the stage and get some damage added up.
That clean forward tilt closes out the game just like that. 3 for 3 on gyro stocks, but shout out to that down tilt into up angled forward tilt. Not only sending so far off stage that it's set up for the finishing stock, forcing an air dodge, but it also means you're covering jump out of hit stun with it. So super good setup there.